I wish that everything I touch would turn to gold, gold, gold.
Here today, my job is to present you with a top 20 list of crime shows. These shows are going to highlight the life of a criminal. With that being said, I do a movie list every month. So if you want to stay tuned, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more similar content, hit that like button. With that being said, I also do strain reviews, cannabis education, and MMA/boxing content. So go check out the channel. But without further ado, let's get right into it.
Number 20. The Night of. A night that begins innocently for college student Nasir Naz Khan turns horrific after he meets a mysterious young woman. In custody and awaiting his formal arraignment, Naz realizes that his survival, or perhaps his demise, rests not in his attorney, John Stone, but with a particular inmate at Rikers Island.
Number 19. Godfather of Harlem. In the early 1960s, Bumpy Johnson returns home to the neighborhood he once ruled after spending 10 years in prison. Everything is much different now with the Italian mob in power. Bumpy is now left with no other option, so he has to take on the whole Genovese crime family to regain control.
Number 18. Manhunt. Security officer Richard Jewell thwarts a deadly explosion at a 1996 Atlanta Olympics. However, he soon finds himself in the middle of a grueling investigation by the FBI. Number 17. Mr. Mercedes. Bill Hodge, a retired police officer in Ohio, sets out on a dangerous and potentially criminal crusade when a local serial killer begins tormenting him. With the help of his longtime neighbor Ida and new friends Holly and Jerome, Detective Hodge must stay one step ahead of his brilliant yet unhinged foe. With the past and present colliding in dramatic twists and turns, Hodge's hunt becomes a cat-and-mouse game that defies the limits of the human's mind and endangers everyone he loves. Number 16. Gomorrah. Set in the suburbs of Naples, Italy, the crime drama goes inside the Camorra, a fierce Neapolitan crime organization led by Pittore Savastino. The story told through the eyes of Don Pittore's right-hand man, Signor Di Marzio, whose faith in the family is tested when he realizes how far Don Pittore is willing to go to keep his power. Despite his feelings, Signor feels an obligation to obey Don Pittore's orders when he tasks his underling with protecting his son, Genny, who is being groomed to take Don Pittore's place while the elder Savastino is serving a lengthy prison sentence. Number 15. Mindhunter. Catching a criminal often requires the authorities to get inside a criminal's mind and see how they think. That's the job of FBI agents Holden Ford and Bill Tench. They attempt to understand and catch serial killers by studying their damaged psyches. Along the way, the agents pioneered the development of modern serial killers profiling. Number 14. Ozark. This crime drama series follows Marty Bird, a financial planner who relocates his family from Chicago to a summer resort community in the Ozarks. With wife Wendy and their 2 kids in tow, Marty is on the move after a money laundering scheme goes wrong, forcing him to pay off a substantial debt to a Mexican drug lord in order to keep his family safe. While the Birds' fate hangs in balance, the dire circumstances force the fractured family to reconnect. Number 13. Mr. In Between. Juggling a relationship, parental responsibilities, friendships, and a sick brother while earning a living would be difficult for anyone. but it's particularly difficult for Ray since he's a career criminal for hire. Ray takes care of people, collecting debts, relieving them of drugs and guns, and often taking care of them on a more permanent basis. Ray demands respect and does not tolerate it when someone disregards his very clear code of ethics. Number 12. Power. It appears James Ghost St. Patrick has it all. A drop-dead gorgeous wife, a stunning Manhattan penthouse, and the power and success that comes with owning a hot new nightclub. But a closer look reveals a man living a double life. When Ghost isn't tending to his Fortune 500 business, he's catering to clients of another operation, a drug empire that serves only the rich and influential. While loyal sidekick Tommy protects his cash cow narcotics venture at all costs, Ghost's new reality is using truth as more than just a front for laundering money. It is a way out of the drug game and into legitimate life with his family, even if everything he loves becomes unknowingly threatened. Number 11. The Blacklist. For decades, ex-government agent Raymond "Red" Reddington has been one of the globe's most wanted fugitives. But then he agrees to work with the FBI to catch his blacklist of mobsters, spies, and international terrorists on the condition that he must work with profiler Elizabeth Keene. Red's true intentions, choosing Keene, a woman with whom he seemingly has no connection, are unclear. Does Liz have secrets of her own? Red promises to teach Liz to think like a criminal, to see the bigger picture, whether she wants to or not. Number 10. The Wire. This series looks at the narcotics scene in Baltimore through the eyes of law enforcers, as well as the drug dealers and users. Other facets of the city that are explored in this series are the government and bureaucrats, schools, and the news media. Number 9. Snowfall. It's 1983, and the crack cocaine epidemic is in its infancy in Los Angeles. Ambitious Lucia, the daughter of a Mexican crime lord who sells marijuana throughout the city, sees a burgeoning cocaine business as a potential moneymaker. So she manipulates her family into entering the more dangerous and profitable territory than pot. Getting involved with the new drug is setting her on a violent collision course with the likes of Franklin, a young street entrepreneur on a quest for power, and former Mexican wrestler Gustavo, who is caught up in a power struggle within a crime family. Also getting involved in the cocaine trade is CIA operative Teddy, who is running from a dark past and begins an off-book operation to fund Nicaraguan Contras. Number 8. Boardwalk Empire. Atlantic City at the dawn of Prohibition is a place where the rules don't apply, and the man who runs things, legally and otherwise, is the town's treasurer, Enoch Nookie Thompson, who is equal parts politician and gangster. Side by side with his brother Elias, Atlantic City's sheriff, and a crew of ward bosses and local tough guys, Nookie gains a reputation as the man to see for illegal alcohol. He does business with all of the top gangsters: Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, Big Jim Colosimo, and does it well, until a former Prestige takes matters into his own hands, setting the feds on Nookie's tail. Number 7. Top Boy. This crime drama takes viewers into the housing estates of East London. There is tension between the drug gangs that operate almost openly and those who strive to live honest lives against the odds of the crime-ridden area. That tension is explored through the interlocking stories of 20-something 28-year-old drug dealer, Dushan, who is determined to become the area's top boy, and good-natured but vulnerable teenager, Renell, who is forced to grow up quickly following his mother's breakdown and enforced absence.
Number 6. Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul follows the transformation of Jimmy McGill, a former con artist who is trying to become a respectable lawyer. In his transformation into a respectable lawyer, he changes his name to Saul Goodman.
Well, before we get into the top 5, I just wanted to say, since you have made it this far, you might as well hit that like button. But with this being said, I'm going to be doing a movie list every month, so if you're interested in seeing a movie list every month, hit that subscribe button. I listed all the different content I do before, so if any of that sounds of interest to you, then go check out my channel. But with this being said, let's get into the top 5.
Number 5. Prison Break. After his brother is wrongfully accused of murder and sent to death row, Michael Scofield will do anything to get his brother out, even if it means getting himself sent to prison to break his brother out. Number 4. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is a series that follows a crime family of mixed Irish Catholic and Romani origins, based in Birmingham, England, starting in 1919, several months after the end of the First World War in November 1918. It centers on the Peaky Blinders street gang and their ambitious, cunning crime boss, Tommy Shelby. Number 3. Sons of Anarchy. Single father Jax Teller finds his loyalty to his outlaw motorcycle club tested by his growing unease concerning the group's lawlessness. While the club protects and patrols the town of Charming, California, keeping drug dealers away, its activities also include a thriving and lucrative illegal arms business. Number 2. Breaking Bad. Mild-mannered high school chemistry teacher Walter White thinks his life can't get any worse. His salary barely makes ends meet, a situation not likely to improve once his pregnant wife gives birth, and their teenage son is battling cerebral palsy. But Walter is dumbstruck when he learns that he has terminal cancer. Realizing his illness probably will ruin his family financially, Walter makes a desperate bid to earn as much money as possible in the time he has left by turning his RV into a meth lab on wheels. Number 1. The Sopranos. Tony Soprano juggles the problems of his factious family with those of a family of a different sort, the mob. He sees a therapist to deal with his professional and personal problems, which bring on panic attacks. He deals with personal and professional power struggles, affairs, violence, the threat of exposure and betrayal, and a whole bunch of people being whacked.